Alrighty. One sec, I lost my notes. Ah ha ha. Got some in my OneNote. There we go. Bloop. Okay. Making a new page. So today we're going to be doing our second lab for authentication, and I don't know if we can do two in a night, but we can try. Today I'm losing my voice, and I also have a cough, so I apologize if my voice is everywhere. It is not intentional. So, due to now being affiliated, we probably can't watch the YouTube videos on stream. So, there will be a pause when these do start up. That's not bad. They're 4 minutes long for this one. What's the other one like? Telling me your secrets. How long are you? 10 minutes. So 14 minutes in total for studying, so not bad, not bad. So let's knock out the first video. I will be pausing the stream in a way, or more likely just putting up my be right back screen until I am done watching the video and done taking notes following the video, and then we will try to uh, do the labs ourselves. And then after that, we can do the second lab and we can call it a night, maybe. Okay, so be right back in about 4 minutes and 17 seconds. If it is a little longer, it probably won't be that much longer. So, yeah, I'll be quiet now. I am back. So, let's try this. Do 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 do. Which one is the right one? This one. I'm going to close all these tabs because this is one to me. It's getting a little hectic. Do, 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 do. Okay. Let's turn on this lab. Maybe I should clear this. This is getting a little rough. Clear history. Are you sure? Yeah. So let's go to my account. Log in. This isn't going to be right. Alright. So now we're going to look for the post with the login. There may be a get. Ignore the get. We're going for post. Let's send it to... You want an intruder, but I always like saying things to repeater. Force of habit. Anyways, let's clear this. Oh, also I kind of forgot. I needed that list of all the passwords and usernames. Here we go. There they are. We're going to need these because the lab automatically gives you a giant list to copy for the intruders, a list for usernames and a list for passwords to try out. Anyways, so we're going to try to first enumerate or try to find out what the password is first. So let's go to payloads. We'll copy the usernames because that's what we're looking for just right now. Let's copy all of them. Control C. And then paste. And then next, we need to go to options, go to add, and we got this warning, and we're going to try to highlight it and add this. I hope that's right. Okay, so now let's try to run the attack. Just going to triple check, make sure everything's alright, and let's go. So the way the video is making it seem is these may all look the same, but supposedly one of them is missing a period at the end. Major thing is good luck trying to find it. But I guess if you try to press the column, it found it for us. So the payload is active stat, so that is going to be the username. So let's go to positions, clear that, and add active stat. Triple checking to make sure that's the right one. Yep, active stat. And then now for the password, which should be a little easier. So we're going to add that, go to payloads, I'm going to remove all these, so let's press clear. Let's go to the password list and copy all these. We can close this now. Discard, don't need it in memory. And next, we can paste. And we don't need to go to options to try to figure out, at least for this lab, it should be a little simpler. So let's start. And the next thing that we're going to be looking for here is we're not going to need to focus on a dot because it's not going to show it. But what it will show is that it won't show up at all and a status change. This status is 302 when the others are 200. The password is killer. Edgy, man. Very edgy. So I'm just typing it here, killer. But we actually just want to type it into the lab. So let's go to the lab and type in active, oh, come on, active stat, and then killer. Login. And success. So let's share our lab. Bloop. Alright. That is a success. And now we will do one more lab because this was really fast. But to be fair, I find authentication somewhat easy. Don't, I bet, famous last words when we get to the final labs, but I find them a little bit more easier, but it's because we're dealing with enumeration first, so I guess when we have tools for our own better judgments, makes life very easy having a tool rather than trying to manually type in every single password we can think of. Anyways, we're about to start again on watching a video, so I will pause the stream so we do not get any sort of flagging, and I will be back now in 10 minutes exactly. Let's hope that's the case. Again, I am a very slow typer, so it may be just a few seconds or a minute or so longer, but I will be back. Alright, In three, two, one, I am going to put on the hide screen. Alright, see you soon. Alright, now we have finished watching the video for this one. So it says our credentials. It's actually giving us credentials this time. Did it have credentials the last time? I don't know. Let me look. I'm just curious. No. So this time we actually got credentials. Now, I don't think that they will work, but always worth a shot. Solve this lab, enumerate a valid username, brute force this user's password, then access their account. So the username should be right, I think, but the password for this one is going to be wrong. I'm not sure, but we'll work with that. Anyways, let's start the lab. Any day now. Here we go. Because I hate typing. Now I think I kind of did this wrong. Maybe I should have cleared my history a little bit before doing that. Just maybe. Because now I'm confused. Look at all this. I'm not gonna know. Clear history. I'm going to clear it again, but let me log out first. My account. Now let's clear this again. Clear. Yas. Wiener. Alright. Easy peasy. That's a lot of Carlos's. That's a lot of roots. This will be going on for a bit. Now the one thing we should be looking for is a response time. So let's see if we can... I'm not sure if this is done right. Is there a way to show response? There should be. Columns. Response received. Now the video said that it'd be the one with the most response received, I believe. The highest response received, but we will see. We still got a lot more scanning to do. There is about 10,100 items to be scanned, so this will be a little bit of a wait. Well, since it is waiting, maybe we can find out though what's so special about let's find out some of the answers to our questions, like what is going on. Oh, I think I forgot a step. Yeah, I forgot a step. I forgot to add the grep extract, didn't I? Or was that the previous one? Let me look up my notes. I feel like I did miss a step somewhere along the line. Or was it just only related to the last enumeration? Yeah, the grep was probably only for the last one. This one's not related to the same. Cool. Oh, but I did mess up one thing. I needed to make the password really, really long so that I'd have a delay. So I think what I'll do is I'll cancel this attack because I need to go back. Discard this. So the reason why is we're trying to mess with the response time. But if it's going at a normal speed, that's probably going to mess things up. So the way he did it was he made the password really, 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 really long, which will really mess with how long the response time will be for this. So let's try that again. Start attack. My apologies, this will make this a little bit longer for us too. Because now we have to restart our 10,100 IMI search now. But hey, it'll be worth it. I hope. Anyways, let's go back and start some research on why some of these things do the things they do. Okay, I wanted to look up what the X forwarded for does. And why does it matter that there's a 0 or a 500? But first, I will continue to cough up a lung. Okay. So let's go to the magical Google. Type in X forwarded for. X-forwarded for header is a de facto standard header for identifying the originating IP address for a client connecting to a web server through an HTTP proxy or a load balancer. When traffic is intercepted between the clients and servers, server access logs contain the IP address of the proxy or load balancer only. To see the original IP address of the client, the X forwarded for request header is, I'm going to cough up a lung again. This header is used for debugging statistics and generating location-dependent content, and by designing it exposes privacy sensitivity information such as the IP address of the client. Therefore, the user's privacy must be kept in mind when deploying this header. A standardized version of this header is the HTTP forwarded header. X forwarded for is an email header indicating that an email message was forwarded from an account. I don't have much strength to keep reading without coughing. Common method of identifying the originating IP address of a client connecting to a web server through a HTTP proxy or load balancer. was introduced by the squid catching proxy servers developers. It is also for an email header indicating that an email message was forwarded from one or more other accounts. There's a special thing in HackerOne. If this ping address header is used, it allows to bypass restrictions of the web application and access endpoints that are restricted otherwise. This allows, for example, to access business owner app backend API. The responding server thinks he is accessed by an internal IP. Oh, this is an actual bug bounty. How much did they make off this? Aww. You deserve more. Especially if it's a medium. I mean, it may not be a high or critical, but I don't know, man. Hi there, thanks for submitting. Thanks for submitting. We've updated these endpoints so the X-forwarded header should not be able to affect whether we serve the real content or serve. Can you verify that our fix works? Verify the fix, and I think it works properly. Awesome. Close this issue and resolve and award you an amount of $200. Can we disclose this? Disclosed. Between coughing and yawning, I guess I'm just not getting enough oxygen. Too much talking. Well, what is Burp doing now? It is about halfway. It has done almost 5,000, and we are waiting for 5,000 more. Fun. It's going to suck if this doesn't work. Like, what happens if we scan this? I won't have much of a clue if it works or not, if the response doesn't actually show anything. Oh well, first you don't succeed. Keep slapping that keyboard. I still want to find out, but maybe that's just server error? Like, I always forget what the 500 error stands for. 500 error message. It's an internal server error. It's a very general HTTP status code. That means something has gone wrong. But the server could not be more specific on what the exact problem is. Reload the web page, clear your browser, delete your browsers, cookies and cache and all that jazz. Troubleshoot as a gateway, timed out error. Indicate that So 500 here is indicating that the server encountered an unexpected condition that prevented it from fulfilling the request. So are we trying to stop the server from recognizing us by stopping our HTTP messages being sent, or responses, or whatever? Or request? Would it be a request? It should be a request, I think. Yeah, our request. So what does the 0 stand for? Security Rule 0, warning about X forwarded for. Proxies operate on the premise that they exist to forward requests from one system to another. They generally add some value, otherwise they wouldn't be in the middle, like load balancing, scale, data leak prevention, security, or compression performance. I guess this is a visual representation. 68% data path programmability, 56% is X forwarded for, 11% is cookie encryption. The thing is that the request sent by the client is otherwise passed unmodified to its target destination. Here's where things can get dicey. Today we see more than half of all apps delivered via proxy makes use of X forwarded for. So everything's using a proxy, I guess. 56% of real live apps are using it, which makes it a pretty significant piece of data. X forwarded for is the custom HTTP header that carries along the original IP address of a client, so the app for the other end knows what it is. Otherwise, it would only see the proxy IP address, and that makes some angry apps. That's because a good number of applications rely on knowing the actual IP address of a client to help prevent fraud and enable access. If you've logged into your bank or Gmail or Xbox account lately, hey, it's where Minecraft lives, okay? Yeah, sure, tell yourself that. From a device other than the one you typically use, you might have gotten a security warning. Because the information about where you log in from is also tracked, in part to detect attempted fraud and misuse. Your actual IP address is also used to allow or deny access in some systems. One sec, I'm looking at something. Okay. Your actual IP address is allowed in some systems and as a means of deducing your physical location. That's why those email warnings often include was that you logging in from Bulgaria. Some systems also use X forwarded for to enforce access control. WordPress, for example, uses the .ht access file to allow list access based on IP addresses. No, it's not the best solution, but it's a common one, and you have to at least give them props for trying to provide some app protection against misuse. Irrespective of whether it's a good idea or not, if you're going to use X forwarded for as part of your authentication or authorization scheme, you should probably make a best effort attempt to ensure that it's actually the real client IP address. It is one of the more commonly used factors in the overall security equation, one that protects the consumers as much as it does corporate interests. But if you are blindly accepting whatever the client sends you in that header, you might be enabling someone to spoof the value and thereby bypass security mechanisms meant to prevent illegitimate access. I can spoof just about anything I want after all by writing a few lines of code or grabbing one of the many Chrome plugins that enable me to manipulate HTTP headers with ease. One of the ways to ensure that you're getting the actual IP address is to not trust user input. Yes, that's security rule 0 again. Never trust user input. And we know the HTTP headers are user input, whether they appear to be or not. If you've got a proxy already, great. If not, you should get one, because that's how you extract input the right value and X forwarded forward and stop spoofers in their tracks. So if you got a proxy already, basically you want your proxy to be able to reach into a request and find the actual IP address that's hidden in its IP packet. Some proxies can do that with configuration or policies. Others require some programmatic magic. However you get it, that's the value you put into X forwarded forward HTTP header and proceed as normal. Doing so ensures that the apps or downstream services have accurate information on which to make their decisions, including those regarding access and authorization. For most architects and situations, this will mitigate the possibility of a spoofed X-forwarded forward being used to gain unauthorized access. As always, the more pieces of information you have to form an accurate understanding of the client and its legitimacy, the better your security. Combining IP addresses in the X-forwarded forward with device type, user agents, and other tidbits automatically carried along in HTTP and network protocols provide a more robust context in which to make a more informed decision. Stay safe. So how's our burp looking? Looks like it's done. So let's see what the results are. Yeah, I have no idea. This kind of reminds me of like that scene from Lex Luthor, or excuse me, the Justice League where Lex Luthor takes over Flash's body and goes to Max, and he's like, I have no idea who this is. And that's how I feel at the moment. There wasn't really a good description on how to tell besides looking at the response time. And that's not going to help here. Because the highest response time is that 1000 is a 0. So what we can do is we can go and look into the lab solution page and see if it's a little bit more forward. It also looks like I maybe should have used pitchfork attack instead of cluster bypass. IP-based brute force. Continue experimenting with usernames and password. Pay particular attention to the response times. Notice that when the username is invalid, the response time is roughly the same. However, when you enter a valid username, your own, the response time is increased depending on the length of the password you entered. Okay. Clear the default. Add payloads for the username section. Set the password to be a very long one. So I should or should not use the password that I had. I will try to get this question answered. I'm going to open this but put it on another tab. I don't need the sound, I'm just going to go look. I feel like I missed something very important. So, besides Pitchfork, I think that's pretty much the only thing that we had wrong. I'm double checking now to make sure maybe I need to add a couple more Peters. Not quite sure. It was already pretty ridiculously long, but you never know. Here we go. And a couple more Peters to the giant batch. And let's see if Pitchfork actually helps this time. I'm going to double check to make sure my payload options are also correct too. Number is 1 to 100. Step is 1. Is max fraction digits to 0. And alright, so we will try again with Pitchfork this time. Hopefully that makes a difference. Oh, it went really fast too. Cool. So I guess Pitchfork made a world of difference. Didn't take about 15 to 20 minutes. Nice. Results, and let's look at calls. I really only see that one being the highest. Is this how it's supposed to look like? I really don't see a difference. One of these things is definitely like all the others. It is Pitchfork. It's set up right. Maybe I have one too many Peters then. Come on, Peter. Get back to normal. Peter. Let's only had a couple this time. I think that's enough. Let's try this again. Maybe not enough Peters. Discard. Well, it kind of broke there. Response received. It got a 0 response with user. Oh, it changed its mind. It's back to normal. Whatever normal is. More Peters. We need more. You can never have too many Peters. Except in this case, unless nothing's working. I don't know, I'm just trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink. Trying to look for the highest response time. Arkansas is pretty much the only one that's staying pretty consistent in the tops. Maybe Ajax. Or App. App and at. But they aren't high by much. It isn't like the video. Video has it at like a couple thousand, and this I don't have that much faith in. So let's see. When the attack is finished. I wonder, do I need to just do it again? Discard. Start again. Ooh, MySQL is now showing up. That's a pretty big one. So maybe MySQL or MySQL is the way. So clear. So we just needed to do that a couple of times without changing the Peter too much. MySQL, and then let's do a regular attack. let's add that. Let's make this a sniper. I need a cough. Okay, so let's try the password list. I can close all these. Copy. Payload. It can be as simple as paste. Just double checking my notes, making sure it's just that. Yep, it's pretty much the same thing. I guess it's because we're only enumerating usernames, so let's try. Oh wait, I didn't need to do that. Wait, no, I did. Was that haha? Continue, or just X. So Ranger. That's strange. It worked and then it didn't. That's real strange. Discard. Yep, my sequel, so... Okay, so what am I doing wrong? Payload. Let's try again. Stas doesn't have any change. Discard. Create a new burp intruder attack for the same request. Add the X-Forward 4 header again and add a payload position to it. Insert the username that you identified and add a payload position to the password parameter. Okay, so I guess I need to still do a pitchfork, I guess. Well, it's a good thing we're still learning. Could be worse. Could be trying to do exam. Pardon me. I am sick as a dog. And no, it's not COVID, it's changing seasons. I've been inside. There's no way I could have met people because I haven't left anywhere. I'm just sick. That's how life goes. So, I believe this is numbers, and then payload 2 can be the simplest, and then we can clear that to be the passwords. I said usernames. Past. Making sure that this is alright. Alright. It's as good as it's going to get. Okay, so monitoring. So MySQL and monitoring. Let's try that. Might need to relog back in. Log out. My account. MySQL and then monitoring. And we did it. Alright, so we got a little lost, but we came through. I'm going to make a note to use pitchfork on both of these because it's not going to work if you don't. Use pitchfork. Continue using pitchfork. This is the first time I've used pitchfork, so this is new. And continue using exforwarded. I love these sort of vulnerabilities. Authentication vulnerabilities are my favorite because it's a lot of problem solving, but it isn't like coding problem solving. It's just simple. It's not simple either, to be honest. It's just tedious, and I like that. Why? I guess it's my love of puzzles. I had an affinity for doing crossword puzzles and those circle puzzles where you would just try to spot the word lists, and then out of this giant blob of words. I forget what the term is. Nyar. No Ken Brain, but here to support TDS. I don't know what TDS means, but I am thankful for the support. Unfortunately, the stream is getting close to an end. I am very sick and I can barely talk. I've been coughing throughout all of it, and I'm still coughing. But we finished 2 laps today, so we are on our way to victory. We have about up here. I can find out exactly how many. I think it was 14 labs for this, but there's only, let me see. Yeah, about 14. And we're already a good chunk in. Just need one more and then it's 10 left. But again, they're my favorite types of attacks, so hopefully they aren't going to be as painful and they do go by pretty quick because enumeration is more about just trying to figure out. You can use a lot of methods to automate the process rather than manually typing in. Like you were kind of starting to do it a little bit with SQL, but this is like pure automating to find out what the answers are with Burp Suite. And with Burp Suite, it is super easy rather than also trying to use like Python or something to do it for you. Anyways, still can't breathe, still can't talk. My chest is hurting. But again, I'm not feeling like I'm going to die or keel over or anything. It's most likely just weather changes have affected me. And this is normal for me. Every time it gets really cold, I get this way. So it's not COVID, it's not anything crazy, it's just the seasons. I am asthmatic, so it's like, oh goody, everything's killing me. So, yeah. Well, burps burps are not sweet, they're savory. Ew. Might be from the beef jerky. Ew. As long as you're not dead. Ayy. That's always a perk. Always trying to live another day, you know? Well, I'm going to stop the stream so I can try to breathe again, get some sleep, get over this. But yeah, have a good night, y'all. We will continue more of this hopefully Tuesday. Hopefully, I'll be better by then. Alright, later!